Hey, what's up? My name is Zane. I'm from Slovenia. First of all, Michael and everyone at Cinema Studios, keep up the good work. Even though you're not getting the views that you should be getting, you're way better than anyone else. And second of all, this is what I'm doing right now.
I stayed up very late last night working on the fireworks vlog. It's almost 3:50 p.m. right now. I think I fell asleep around 9 a.m. this morning, and then I woke up at 2. And for most of the time since then, I've been looking for my vocal mic for recording music vocal stuff. I don't know where it is, but thinking maybe it's buried somewhere at the office, so I'm just gonna go there. I'm already kind of sweaty from not showering between yesterday and today, and it's very hot in this car right now. So I've just begun sweating profusely, which is not going to help the situation.
There he is.
Hello. Okay. So, I have 2 boxes that are from the P.O. box. They arrived a long time ago. We just never opened them. They were at home. This one came from England, and this one came from Hannah Montoya. Okay, I'm gonna open Hannah's first. This might be a year plus old. I don't know when this showed up. Okay, this is from November 19th, 2015.
Oh my god.
Hannah, I'm so sorry. So she sent, I think, leaves from a trail that she likes that is supposedly haunted by a goat man. Those are leaves. These are leaves. I don't want to break them.
I can smell the goat. I can smell the goat man. Definitely.
Here are the leaves. Smell the leaves or you're fired.
I don't feel that I smell very much.
Callie, do you smell the goat man?
Mostly I just smell cardboard, to be honest.
This one's heavy.
That is the soul of the goat.
It appears to be a mug, but I'll read this thing first. Look at the little stamp thing up there. Is that showing up on the camera? This is from so long ago, my hair doesn't even look like that anymore. It says 2016. This is from Nyla. Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, and Happy 30th birthday. Hope you're having a wonderful winter and continue to have a lovely 2016. Thanks, Nyla. What is this? This is like weird time capsule stuff. She says, since I last wrote to you in February 2015, I got a very part-time job and I also started filming wedding videos. They were both projects I assumed would only last for my summer holidays, but appears to have somewhat detrimentally spilt over into my last year of uni. It is at times of juggling video editing, social media jobs, and university that I feel most like you. I'm surprised that she hasn't been more insistent about, hey, where's that thing I sent? So in her letter, she said that this is supposed to be Barcelona, but she read it as bacon. Cool. P.O. box things. Send us stuff at the P.O. box and we'll wait 2 years to open your package. If we're putting a clip of the firework video on the cinema channel, what is the target audience for that?
I think Abby and Todd wanted to post it on Facebook.
As part of the cinema Facebook?
Yes.
Yes.
I'm having a hard time lining up. I guess, like, if we post that to the cinema Facebook, who is our target audience? Are we using the Facebook as a place to woo in prospective clients for the studio? Are we using that as a place to interact with the what I'm doing right now community?
So it's less for the people who are already watching the vlog and more for people to introduce them to cinema and to the vlog.
Something about it feels messy to me right now. We've got the part of the business that is trying to bring in professional clients to do video work for them, and we've got the what I'm doing right now community.
The concept for me that is tough is like, this is our original content that we're creating. It shows a level of quality and attention to detail and creativity. I mean, because we're showing our cinematography, we're showing our ability to create original music.
Knowing that we want the Facebook to target prospective clients, something at the beginning needs to set the context for what they're about to see, rather than just being like, here's some firework footage. Something that's like, this is an excerpt from a thing showing off our cinematography, our music, so that as they're watching it, they're like, oh, these are things that this company can do for me. I think what I would like to do is take the fireworks section of this video, put some kind of end slug on it saying that this was an excerpt from the daily vlog. If you want to watch the daily vlog, go here.
Sure.
Upload that to the main channel. On Facebook, put a slug at the beginning saying, hello, prospective client. Here's what we can do for you, and then have the video show. Right now it feels like what makes sense to me in that the Cinema Studios Facebook is part of our sales funnel for bringing in prospective clients, and that community-related stuff involving Cinema Studios, maybe it makes more sense to start pushing that stuff through my Michael Aranda page.
I was just about to say, put the Casey Neistat one on your Michael Aranda page.
I agree and I disagree because it all depends. Like, no, I guess I see where you're coming from. At the same time, Cinema Studios is more than just us creating content for people. It's just one thing we do. I would want people to see all the things we can do. Yeah.
I think we can put the same content on everything.
Okay.
It's all about what you say as you're delivering it.
Okay.
On the cinema page, it's always going to be like, here is this really professional looking thing that we made, and we are capable of making these professional things. Give us money, please. On the more community facing stuff, it's like, hey guys, here's this cool thing we made, check it out.
I get what you're saying.
Huzzah!
The people in the comments from the firework video said that I should upload this on my main channel so that it could be more shareable. I've uploaded it. I'm about to come over here to basic info, unlisted, change it to public, and when I click this button, that's going to be the first time in more than a year, that a video has gone live on this channel.
Over here.
Woo!
Wow. Congratulations. Congratulations, pal. Way to go.
Thanks. So the other day, I opened up my Juiced Link Little Darling and resoldered one of the connections between the battery and the rest of the circuit board because the pin that went from the battery through the circuit board had come loose. In the grand scheme of electronic issues, I realized that that's like as basic as it could possibly get, so I don't want to get my hopes too high, but I have here my Blackmagic Pocket Cinema camera from forever ago. You may remember at Buffer Festival last year, I crazy glued this thing back on because it was all loose. This camera's been through a lot, but it doesn't currently work, and I figure there's no harm in just opening it up to see what's inside and if there's any obvious place where I can administer some kind of repair. So I don't even know if I'm going to be able to get this thing open, but I'm at least gonna try right now. So I do know that on these cameras, the screws that hold the body together are behind this rubber thing that's across the front of the camera. I wonder if the fact that I crazy glued part of this thing together is gonna make it harder to take apart. This piece of hardware is significantly more complicated than the Little Darling. Part of me is scared of damaging this thing, but I guess, you know, it already doesn't work, so what's the worst I can do? I don't see anything obviously wrong with it. Somewhere there is a screw that came loose a long time ago that has been rattling around inside, and I've long wondered if that screw floating around in there damaged something. Oh, a screw fell out. Sounds like there's more than one screw floating around in there. This thing just came out. I am becoming less optimistic that I'm going to be able to put this thing back together. Well, there's the other screw that's rolling around. So the issue that I was having was that it wasn't powering on. So there's pins at the back of this battery case that I assume are coming through the circuit board right here. There's probably some kind of tool that people use to test the different connections on a circuit board to make sure that power flows through them properly. I don't even know what that tool is, let alone know where I would get one. So maybe I should look into that. So that screw was rolling around in here. You can actually, I can see a bunch of scratch marks right here on the metal. So that would have meant the screw was rolling around against this stuff right here. I don't see any obvious damage on that part of the circuit board though. Oh, I can see right here why the mounting point on this camera was loose. There are 4 screws that hold it in place. 2 of them are no longer all the way in, and those were the two that fell out and were rattling around. I guess if they came out there and ended up in this area, they could have been rattling around, damaging anything anywhere on this board. My suspicion that this was a more complicated problem than I found on the Little Darling has been confirmed, and I'm not really sure what my next step would be in trying to fix this thing. I guess I'll ask around and see if anyone knows anything about diagnosing electronic issues. Did you know that if someday you are as successful as I am, you too will be able to afford the luxuries of frozen Atkins pizza meals? I know it's easy to be jealous of the luxury in which I live, but I hope it's just motivation for you to, work hard and follow your dreams. Okay, there are 3 changes that I need to make to the Kate Tectonics animation before I do the final render. There's a bit where helium shoots off some clothing, and I don't like the motion of the clothing. There's a bit where carbon gets formed, but at first he shows up too small and then grows bigger. And then there's a section where the sun is condensing, and we want the heliums to get closer together as the sun condenses. This is the motion of the clothing. It's exploding outward, but I feel like all of the pieces of clothing are just there, and then they just sort of like move away. There's not a feeling of explosion away from the center. They're not being shot out from the middle. It's like each one of them is just like, I'll go over here now. And this is what it looks like now that I messed with it. The clothes all feel like there's more of an explosion that pushes them outward quickly. A subtle difference, but it makes me happy. So this is the section where the sun is condensing, but the heliums just kind of stay in the same place. So I think maybe that looks kind of weird. So I want the heliums to come together as the sun is crushing down on them. And now all 3 of them slowly move in toward the center of the sun as the whole thing is condensing. And then last we have these heliums coming together to form carbon, but you'll see when he first appears he's small and then kind of pops forward. I want him to be his full size right as he appears. And there we go. All done. Okay, I'm about to start rendering the final version of the Kate Tectonics Episode 3 animation. Yesterday's render of this, I think, took about 3 hours. I've added some effects to make it look more final and polished, and I'm really curious how much that's going to expand the render time. But I think since it's now 10:41 and I've finished everything that I wanted to finish at the office today, it might be time to go home. Caitlin, what are you doing?
Editing a vlog.
Oh, this is when the GoPro flew off the car. GoPros record 2 files simultaneously. There's the high-res version, and then there's a low-res version of the same thing being recorded. I'm not exactly sure if they do that for redundancy or what, but in this case, when the GoPro flew off the hood and hit the windshield and then hit the ground, I guess some way that the buffer works on the GoPro, it didn't record anything beyond the camera hitting the windshield in the high-res version, but it recorded more after that in the low-res version. So we imported the low-res version, but look how much smaller it is. That's the low-res version. How many times do you have to scale that up for it to fit? Oh. 1,200 times? Wow. Man, look at all those pixels. Hey, what you doing?
I'm trying to fix my Discord, but I don't know why I can't.
I don't know anything about Macs, so I can't help you.
I know you don't.
Well, I just got back from a long day of staring at a computer screen, so I'm gonna go stare at a computer screen now.
No, are you gonna edit more?
I was gonna play games or something. Oh. I just saw part of a video from a YouTuber named Tommy Edison. He's a blind YouTuber, and they are saying that the notification system on YouTube isn't sending notifications to people who have chosen to get notifications. And the thing that I think is just so stupid is that YouTube created this platform, and then they added this functionality called subscribe that allowed you to know when people that you want to know post videos. It will let you know that.
Sure.
And that system ended up purposefully or not working that way. So they introduced this other feature that allowed you to actually get notified if someone posts a video and you want to know about it. And now that system, purposefully or not, is not notifying people who have chosen to be notified about the things that they chose to subscribe to.
Yeah.
What's the button they're going to add to the right of the little bell icon that you click if you want to know when your notification is here for the thing that you subscribe to?
They're going to just have someone come to everybody's house and be like, just so you know.
It's like a weird combination of Postmates and YouTube subscriptions. What do you think, Kitty? Yeah, you're right. I just finished chatting on Skype with a person named Pim, who is going to be housing me for part of my Australia adventure that is coming up next month. So today I booked my tickets to Australia. There was a bit of a snafu because originally I was trying to fly straight to Melbourne because that's where VidCon is happening. But because of Delta's relationship with Virgin Australia, who handles the flights from LAX to Melbourne, and something involving blackout dates when Delta is and isn't allowed to assign seats to the Virgin Australia flights. It turns out that if I were to fly to Australia on like September 2nd, I think it was, I wouldn't be able to fly back to the United States from Melbourne until October 3rd, which is ridiculous. I can't spend a month away from Montana right now. So what we came up with was that it's actually cheaper to do it this way as well. I'm gonna fly from the US to Sydney, Australia, and then some way, somehow figure out how to get myself to Melbourne before VidCon starts. So that might be renting a car and doing a road trip in Australia. I could take a train. There's also flights. I could just take a domestic flight in Australia. But as it stands right now, I am leaving Missoula on September 2nd, arriving in Sydney early in the morning on September 4th. VidCon is happening on the 9th and 10th, and then I'm flying from Sydney again back to the US on the 14th, arriving back in Missoula on the 15th. So almost the whole first 2 weeks of September are going to be spent traveling to, from, or within Australia. I don't know if this video is going to go live before I leave, but if it does, I'm going to be looking for people to meet up with in Sydney, in between Sydney and Melbourne, and in Melbourne, and suggestions for just fun things to see while I'm there. Anyway, it is 1:10 in the morning right now, and I have to be at the office by like 8:45 in the morning because there's a guy named Christopher Ryan, Dr. Christopher Ryan, who is visiting Missoula right now. He has a podcast called Tangentially Speaking. He asked me on Twitter if I would be willing to be on his podcast. So he's showing up at the cinema office tomorrow morning at 9, and we're going to be talking until like 10:30 or 11. And then at 1 o'clock tomorrow, I'm filming SciShow Quiz Show, probably from 1 to 3. So tomorrow's gonna be an action-packed day. That was all a very long-winded way of me saying, I need to go to bed now. So, thank you for watching this video, and I will see you tomorrow.